Hi, Yuvraj.
Hello, sir. A very good morning to you.
Good morning. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing good, sir. How about you?
Yes, good going. Yuvraj, I have seen your CV. It seems quite relevant for the current position. So, Yuvraj, can you please walk me through your profile once?
Sure, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you for considering me for this opportunity. My name is Yuvraj, and I was born and brought up in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. I completed my senior secondary education from here itself, and then I moved on to Dehradun, Uttarakhand for pursuing my bachelor in technology from computer science and engineering, specializing in artificial intelligence and machine learning. I've interested and put a lot of time and efforts to these technologies, but and developed some projects such as movie recommender system and other ML projects, but I never found it exciting working with them. So I started searching for other domains that would excite me to work and that would motivate me in itself. And that's when I came across data science and data analytics. The colorful dashboards and visual excited me every time to work with them, and especially playing with data, cleaning with them, knowing what more can happen through raw data. It always excites me to work with the data.
Okay, all right. So, uh, Yuvraj, just let me know, do you have any projects done so far?
Yes, sir. I've done guided and unguided projects. My most recent projects is that I was completing a course of Maven Analytics Data Science Power BI project, and it was a Maven Market bonus project that I completed recently.
Okay. So, what all tech stacks are you familiar with?
Sir, sorry.
What all tech stacks are you familiar with?
What all text?
Tech stacks. Tech stacks
Uh,
like Power BI or Python.
okay. I'm familiar with Power BI, Python, SQL, and a little of Snowflake and AWS, and a little of Excel, mainly for creating pivot tables and visualizations.
Perfect.
Not with VBA. I do not know VBA.
So, Yuvraj, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 10 when it comes to SQL?
I would give myself a six probably.
6. So, let's get started.
Yes.
Okay, Yuvraj, just tell me what do you understand by data integrity?
So data integrity is almost like ensuring that the data is safe from like the data is protected and the data is not duplicated, and only a certain amount of people see the data that we want them to see. Only those people see the data.
You sure on that?
Uh, yes, I mean not 100%, but yeah.
Okay, no worries. Yuvraj, just tell me the basic difference between clustered and non-clustered index in SQL.
Sir, clustered, as far as I know, the clustered indexing in SQL is mainly based on numerical indexing. And non-clustered is almost like we use categorical indexing, like with the column names.
Okay. Have you come across the term denormalization?
Yes, sir. Denormalization, it's connected to the normalization. In normalization, we break tables into parts so that it's easy to, store them. In denormalization, we combine those broken tables so that it helps us in faster query retrieval.
Okay, fine. So, can you give me a real-time example when it comes to entities and relationship?
Entities and relationship. Okay. In my recent project, I've worked with tables of products and the product name and the product behavior, like the qualities of the product. Okay, so it was like uh, the change. Sorry, sir. Let me take a minute.
Take your time. Please take your time.
Uh, Entities and the tables are bound with the relationships. Okay, the changes in one dimension will bring up a change in the fact of something. For example, changes in product cost will certainly bring up a change in the product sales. If the product cost is low, the sales may vary in a positive way.
Okay.
This is how I can define entity relationship.
Okay, Yuvraj, so are you aware of OLTP?
I'm not sure, sir. I'm not sure about that.
So, just tell me what is the basic difference when it comes to rank and dense rank?
Rank and dense rank both are Windows functions, sir. It's they both are used for numbering, especially creating some like index. These both are used for faster query retrieval. In rank function, uh, we use overclause. In both of them, we use overclause. Um, Rank function ranks the entities and skips the next position. For example, if there are a number of students and their marks are being recorded, if four students get the highest marks, then they all will be ranked as first. Meanwhile, the second, third, and fourth position would be skipped. The next person who's going to be ranked would be number fifth instead of number two. Meanwhile, in dense rank, all these people would be ranked at first, but the person who comes next would be ranked second. The numbers will not be skipped.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's say you're working on a project and suddenly there is something called SQL injection. So,
Sir,
what are
SQL?
SQL injections and how to get rid of SQL injections?
I'm not aware about this.
Right. So, just tell me how many types of aggregate functions are available in SQL.
Sir, there are many aggregate functions available in SQL, such as sum x, many arithmetic ones, many. I mean, we can. I cannot actually tell you the exact number, but I know surely when they're in
Okay.
use.
As far
When
as
we
you
use,
know, just explain me what all things are you aware of.
so there are many types of aggregate functions, such as sum, average, and well, I
Don't get
actually cannot
nervous.
recall it
Just
right now.
yes, please
Cannot
take your
actually.
time and just let me.
So, no, that's a question. I should not ask the question right now.
Are you aware of trigger in SQL?
Sir?
Trigger.
No, sir. No.
Okay. Okay. You wanna just tell me, are null values same as that of zero or a blank space?
No, sir. Null values are not same as blank space or zero because blank space is still a character and null is a void. It's not a character. Blank still can be a character, but null cannot be a character.
So what is the need of for group functions in SQL? Why do we really
Group,
use
uh,
functions?
okay. Group function is mainly used to uh, view data in a certain view. Like if we want to group, for example, if we want to group all the students in a school according to their houses, then we'll use the group function. We want to see a particular house, like the top performing students of a particular house, then we would group the students on the basis of that particular house. We'll use the group by function.
Okay. So we all know that there are different types of joins, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just tell me the basic difference between cross join and natural join.
Sir, I do not know about the natural join, but the cross join is certainly when two tables, for example, we have two tables. Every row of the first table would be multiplied by every row, not multiplied, will be joined by every row of the second table. It's almost like the cross multiplication in mathematics.
Okay. Okay. So natural join you are not aware of, right?
If it's the normal join, then the inner join or the normal join, it's almost like we have two tables and we'll get the columns that are common in both the tables.
Well, well. So I hope you are well aware of Python and Power BI as well, right?
Yes, sir, but I haven't worked with Power BI for a long time. I'm currently working with Python and Tableau.
Okay. So, all right. So, how would you like to rate yourself when it comes to Python?
Sir, I'll give myself a solid five.
Sorry?
A five, 5.5 and six, between
Okay.
5.5 to six.
Okay. So, Yuvraj, let's say again you are working on a project. You need to
Mhm.
optimize a Python script that possesses millions of rows of a sales data. How would you do that?
First of all, I would like to break the data into smaller parts, and then relevant smaller parts. And then I would build a relationship between them later, and on its basis, then I'll encounter like the outliers and using the z-square values, and if not z-score, then we can go for the box plot. it would be really easy for us to calculate. Then we can use IQR, interquartile range, things like that to clear up the things. Then we can use interpolation. Okay, no, that's for null values. That's for null values. I'm sorry.
Okay. So are you aware of Panda libraries?
Yes, sir. I'm aware of pandas libraries.
Okay. So how do you use pandas to clean messy data?
First of all, as we know that Panda stands for Python data analysis library, and Python uses its own structure. It's called data frame, and it allows us to view data and manipulate it very easily when we load our current data in the data frame. So it really helps us, and it really makes it easy to load and view and manipulate data, and that's how we clean it.
How can you differentiate pandas with NumPy?
Sir,
Yeah.
NumPy works with numerical values. Pandas works with categorical values. NumPy uses ND array structure, and Pandas uses its own structure that we know, that data frame. It's a tabular, somewhat tabular. We can imagine it. And NumPy is a little faster when querying. Pandas takes a little more time as compared to NumPy. And yeah, that's it.
Mhm. Have you ever used pandas to perform group by operations and aggregate data?
Yes, sir, I certainly have, but right now I cannot recall it because
Okay.
it's been a long time.
Well, so my next question is, how would you apply machine learning models using scikit-learn in Python for predictive analysis?
I'm sorry, sir, I haven't used it. I haven't. I'm not aware of it.
So, are you aware of using the ITER tools libraries in Python to work with permutation and combination?
No, sir.
Well, so with that, let's come to Power BI part. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So again, you gotta just let me know the architecture of Power BI.
Sir, what do you mean by architecture, please?
Architecture in the sense you know the different types of what to say. There are something called data source, Power Query,
Mhm.
Power Pivot.
Okay. So, Power BI is like you're asking like what Power BI actually does, how it actually helps us. Power BI is helps us in data loading, cleaning, pre-processing, and then visualization and storytelling. It has various modes like a data view, table view, and there is a new view that is introduced in 2023. It's the DAX query view, so that you can check whether your DAX query works perfectly or not. It gives us um features like Power Query Editor that helps us in like data profiling and all, data cleaning and stuff. And it gives us the options to create the various visualizations. And overall, it makes our works easier that we don't have to put much efforts while cleaning. That is like the most uh, difficult work when we are handling data. It makes us easy, and it
So
also, yeah.
yes. So when we ask about Power BI architecture, you have to answer that there is something called data source, Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View, and finally with the Power BI service. Okay.
Okay,
That is the complete architecture of Power BI, right?
okay, sir.
All right. So you said about the different types of modes. I would like
Yes,
to
sir.
know more on that. Different types of modes of connectivity. What are the different types of modes of connectivity?
The first one is the direct query view, and second one is the import view, and the third one is the combination of both. And the direct query view, direct query mode is used when we are working with live data, and the data is comparatively larger than what we use in the import mode. Import mode almost works like the data is first loaded into the local machine, then we in the local machine we load it into the Power BI engine. I don't exactly remember the engine's name, and then we work on it. So it does not load while working. It does
So
not.
which yes. So which
Yes,
mode is faster?
import mode is faster.
Import mode is faster. All right. Fine. So are you aware of what is data modeling?
Yes, sir, I'm aware of what is data modeling. Data modeling is basically the part of data analysis where we build relationships between different tables, namely fact and dimension tables, to actually access the columns that are being present in other tables from one table. So we don't have to actually merge the tables and increase the data size, and it will surely helps to reduce the loading speed of the data, the visualizations,
Okay.
the report overall.
Okay. So, Yuvraj, just list me down the types of schemas you have used so far.
I've mainly used two types of schemas. First one is star schema, and second one is snowflake schema. A star. Would you like me to
Yes, yes,
elaborate?
please. Go ahead.
Star schema is in star schema we have one fact table and a different dimensions table. We connect these two. We build relationship in these types of tables with the help of primary keys, and we ensure that the data flows from dimensions to facts downwards, downstreams, so that there is no cross filtrations. The relationship is always one to many. And meanwhile, in Snowflake schema, there are certain tables of sub dimensions. So it's almost like metadata, data about data. We do not join sub dimensions with the fact table directly. Instead, we join fact to dimensions and then dimensions to sub dimensions, forming a chain-like structure, so that there is no data integrity, or sorry, no mixing of data.
So, somewhere I heard that you were saying fact and dimension. So, can
Yes.
you just please differentiate between them?
Facts tables are the one that contains all the primary keys and the basic information about what are we going to work on. Dimension tables contains all the columns that will define the attributes of the data that we're going to work with.
Okay. So, how many types of cardinality are there in Power BI?
There are three types of cardinality as far as I know, but I've used only one, that is the one to many. Many to many cardinality brings some errors. I'm not sure about what type of errors are they, but it surely messes up with our data. So we don't use, yeah, and because it allows cross filtration and things, and we do not want that. So that's why we use one to many, and many to many is not used. Yeah.
Are you aware of one to one?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm aware of one to one. When there is only one attribute to the other side also.
So, just explain me the different DAX functions you have used so far.
We use the many DAX functions. First of all, stands for data analysis expressions, and these expressions helps us in various ways. Like first of all, the normal aggregate functions like sum, average, etc. There's a new types of functions, X functions, that sum X, average X, that defines these aggregate functions on the basis of a certain expression that we mentioned. The third one is the calculate function. It helps us to aggregate other functions within itself. Uh, the fourth most used DAX functions by me are the time intelligence functions, such as the total YTD, total QTD, and these are like the aggregate functions in themselves. But there are
Okay.
more functions like same period last year. These are a type of filter functions that are being used within the calculate function. They cannot be used separately.
Okay. So, are you aware of all and all selected?
Sir, I'm aware of all. It When we use all functions, all other filters that are working on the current data becomes unusable with the all, and I'm not sure about
So,
all
all
filters.
selected ignores all internal filters and keep the external filters, right?
Okay, okay, okay.
Fine. Okay. All right. So, um, how do you control? Let's say you are again building a dashboard. So, how do you
Mhm.
control the visual interactions?
To control the visual interactions of a certain visual on the other visuals, first we have to select the certain visual. Then uh, there is a button in the pane. I don't exactly remember the name of the pane, but it is edit interactions. And then we'll go on that certain visual that we do not want to change when the other visual is interacted, and we turn off the interaction from there.
Okay. So, are you aware of filter and slicers? What are they?
Yes, sir. I'm aware about filter and slices. Filters can be created using that. Like we can use measures as the filters also, and we can use the columns that are being in the visual as filters also, like the top end filtering, the basic filtering, etc. And slicers are basically uh, tools that are being used to uh, view in data in depth, because there are sometimes that visuals cannot represent the actual visualization, the actual numbers. So we can use the slices to slide down or from left to right to take a look at the rise up or the rise down.
So Yuvraj, tell me, how can you differentiate hierarchical data with drill down?
uh, Hierarchical data is almost like we can see the hierarchy and we can set the hierarchy by ourselves. Meanwhile, drill down data only works with the data that is already given, right? We cannot do any changes with the drill down data. Meanwhile, in hierarchy, we can create hierarchies by ourselves within the tables. And when we drill down to the data, it might take us to another navigated page. But when we use the hierarchies, it shows the hierarchies, the sub parts of it in the same visual.
So what are the extensions of Power BI?
Sir, I'm not sure about that.
Extensions.
Sir, I'm not sure about that extension.
Okay.
What is extension?
It's extensions like when you save. Okay. So what are the extensions do you use?
PBIX?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And one more.
PBI.
Sorry.
PBI, maybe.
PBIT.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, Yuvraj, how do you improve the report performance?
There are many ways to improve the import performance. And the first one that I would like to mention is uh, create measures instead of calculated columns if not necessary. If you are not bound to create columns, then there's no need to create columns and you will save some space. The second one that I would like to mention is do not clutter your report with exaggerated visuals which you do not need. Not every page needs tons and tons of visuals to represent data. And the third one is use appropriate modes to load the data, like according to your need, the type of data that you're working with, it's live or not.
Okay. So, have you come across the term gateway?
Uh, Gateway, no, sir, I'm not aware about that.
So, what are the different types of roles in Power BI workspace?
We can actually create different types of roles. No, in Power BI Workspace,
Hmm.
uh, as far as I can recall, it's admin and no, I'm not aware about it. I'm sorry.
We're going right.
It's maybe admin, then sysadmin. As far as I know,
Okay.
I can't recall much. So, sorry.
Well, it's admin, member, contributor, and viewer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is the basic difference between Pro and Premium?
Uh, I'm not aware about those.
Okay.
I know that premium gives us extra space, extra storage space, because in normal Power BI version we cannot load data more than 1 GB, but in premium we it gives us the facility to do that.
Okay. So, how do you apply RLS, row level security?
Row level security, sir, can be applied by creating different roles and filters. We can create roles according to our needs. For example, if we're handling data that consists of data of various countries. Like we want the Indians to do not see the data of other countries, then we can set roles of the Indian administration, the American administration, or the Sweden administration. Same goes with, and we can then go in the view section to view as that role. And same goes with filters. Like we can apply various filters to manipulate data according to our need and show what we actually want to see. We do not have to show every part of data.
Okay, Yuvraj, let's say I have 10 reports, but my
Mhm.
users are 1,000. How do I share the reports?
We can publish it to Power BI service, and we can actually select ourselves that we have to share with only 10 people, right? How many, like, did you? Okay, then we can actually mention their emails that they have access to that report. Nobody else would be able to access it other than these 10 people.
Okay, Yuvraj.
Yes.
So that was from the technical side. Let's say, Yuvraj, if you are being shortlisted, okay, and you are working under a team, so how are you going to handle the conflicts within a team?
First of all, I would like to understand what the conflict is about. Like maybe it's just something so light that it's not even a conflict. It might be just a misunderstanding between people. So we'll have to listen to people about what they are fighting about and take out a conclusion with a table talk.
Okay. So let's say if your team is not meeting its target,
Yes.
what would you do to make them productive?
First of all, I would want to understand that what the problem lies within the certain individual. Like he or she might be going through a family problem or something, and then I would want them to understand that this is not just for the company but for themselves as well. If they're facing problems with them, then I'll associate with them with a higher hierarchical senior with them to understand what the problem is that they're facing, and then I would certainly then this would certainly help them.
Okay. So let's say if someone is not contributing, how would you
Hmm.
deal with that team member
Uh,
efficiently?
we'll have to confront them on a very serious note that we here are working as a team. This is not something to be done as an individual. If someone's individual performance is lacking behind and he is not even trying to coping up with us, then he or she must not be selected from the next time, or he or she will be expelled right now. We should be very serious. We need very serious confrontation on this.
So, Yuvraj, tell me, why do you think that you are appropriate for this current position and why should I hire you for this role?
Uh, I've worked with a number of data sets, but as I can see that I still lack with these skills. So first I need to replenish it. Second, the thing is I think I'm consistent enough, and I have that mentality to not give up until I just do it appropriately. And it doesn't matter what challenges I face, I still have that mindset to get going. It doesn't matter what comes in the way, but yeah, I can surely provide value if uh, if I'm being trusted.
All right. So, with that, my last question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, Yuvraj?
I see myself diving deep into different types of businesses and working at a senior level position, knowing how businesses work, how startups work, what do's and don'ts to follow in the future, create different sources of capital, learning it, failing and learning it, and just like I'm not going to be keep myself in some comfortable place. I'm going to look for challenges. I'm going to look for leveling up because it's not just all about money. It's all about me as a self. So yeah, I'm going to look out for challenges.
Okay. With that, Yuvraj, thank you for joining. We'll
Thank you.
get back with the feedback and hope for the best. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.